Hey, what's going on? Jake here with Uncommon EDC. Today I'm responding to an open tag from our friend John over at JO Ventures Outdoors. Shout out to him for putting together this open tag. But definitely check out his original video on this open tag as well as his follow-up video. In that follow-up video, he mentions he has a playlist for responses to this tag, so I'll link to that in the description below as well as tag him in the title of this video. But check out the playlist. There's a lot of great channels that have already participated. More, I'm sure, will be joining in the next couple of days. And I haven't watched all of them myself, so I need to catch up as well, but I have watched a few organically, and it's definitely been a fun series. So with that said, I really enjoy participating in these open tags for a couple of reasons. One, you just get to see people's tastes and really the variety of knives available. You would think with everyone looking at lockbacks, they'd be very similar videos, but if you look from my video to JO Ventures Outdoors, very different collections. We obviously have very different tastes, and I'm sure with all of the other videos and with the ones I've checked out already, they're also very different from each other and from mine. And so that makes it a lot of fun to just discover new knives that maybe you wouldn't know about otherwise, and also just seeing some great collections. Second reason I enjoy it is more personal to me, but it allows you to dig through your collection finding these knives, and you find knives that you forgot about or maybe don't carry as much as you'd like, or just haven't gotten the attention that you would like. And so that makes it a lot of fun. And it's not just with the knives you're looking for, like in this case lockbacks. You also, they're stored with other knives, and so you find other knives that you forget about, and maybe in the coming weeks you carry something you wouldn't have otherwise if you hadn't been going through your collection. So that's a really fun aspect for me. Lastly it was pretty surprising to me how many I had. So if you had asked me before responding to this open tag if I had a lot of lockbacks, the answer would have almost certainly been no. But now that I've pulled them all out, I feel like I have a decent bit more than I would have expected. And so that was surprising to me. The 4 you see on the table are ones I've already done videos on. I have 11 more that on the table that I've never done a video on. Some of them have appeared in shorts or other random videos, but don't have a dedicated video for. So 15 in total, which was pretty surprising to me. There's also one more that I know of that I'm pretty sure is in storage. I didn't come across it while I was looking. And a lot of knives from when I was younger, or I either no longer have or in storage. So not going to include that one, obviously. I don't even remember the brand. I want to say it was a Winchester, but most of my collection is here, and I'm going to try and go through somewhat quickly, but this will be a longer video. There's 15 knives in it. Even if I spend a minute each on them, that's going to be, we're already at the 3-minute mark, so 18 minutes. I'm going to try and keep it short though, so rush through these. We're going to start with the ones that already have videos. The Spyderco Native 5 on the right. This is that Stormtrooper colorway. I believe this is a GP Knives exclusive. It has Rex 45 for the steel on there. Really great knife. Like the jimping on that finger choil, really able to lock in and make this an excellent user. The ergos on it are really great. Small cutting edge, but really perfect size, and very, very cool knife. And these ones I'll keep even shorter probably because I've done videos on them. So next up is the Ontario Ice Wraith. I have this in 2 colorways. Got these from Knife Center on sale. Don't remember exactly how much they were, but under $20, maybe even under $15. Have the green as well as the clear, but really cool knives. And Ontario Knife Co., if you don't know, recently sold, so not sure what the fate of these are going to be. So if you want one, maybe worth picking one up. But they were made in their Taiwan factory, not their US factory. So the Taiwan stuff should be safe, but you never know with these acquisitions. The USA stuff is the stuff that's a little bit more questionable. Now, I like the clear colorway. This one you can see is a lot less used than the other one, but I like the clear colorway because it really shows how that locking mechanism works. So a lot of the ones I have are actually mid lockbacks instead of that traditional where they're on the bottom. A lot of JO Ventures were the opposite. He had a lot more of the traditional ones with few mid lockbacks. And so for this mid lockback though, you can really see how it works. There's a tension bar back here that hits the spot that you press and applies tension to it as it sounds. And then this whole thing is a large spring with a pivot in the middle. In this case, it's a pinned construction, but it's possible for you to screw that same spot, but usually you'll see a pin there. And then at the end, there's a notch that goes into a depression in the blade tang that locks everything in place. So you can see when it goes open, that notch drops into the depression, and that's when everything locks into place. And you can also see just how that action works when you press on that lockback. So I like this version of it, and super cheap, really cool knives from Ontario. We'll see another Spyderco as well as another Ontario later in the video, but since I'm starting with these ones, the ones I've already done videos on, they're going to be a little bit separate. This is a Remington bullet knife from 1988, the most recent Lockback video I've done. Really large clip point blade on that, cool bullet shield. Love the red to yellow transition on those covers. Just a great knife overall, and this is the first one we're looking at that has that traditional Lockback all the way at the bottom. This one isn't the greatest in terms of the action. It is a little bit gritty, but it is a 30-year-old knife. So really cool knife. Like I said, I've done a video on that one. I'm gonna put this one at the top to hopefully leave room on the table for all of the knives we're gonna look at. Now I kind of bookended. These are some of my favorite Lockbacks, and some of the other favorites are gonna go at the end of the video. So these middle ones, I like them, but aren't necessarily favorites on my list. Gonna kind of go in a weird order, starting with these novelty knives. And I don't mean Novelty Knife Co., they're just kind of keychain knives. So the first one is the O-Knife Yucca. Got this in a recent O-Buy sale, and it was a freebie. If you logged in during the sale with an account, you got this for free. And so I think they valued it at $5. Plastic handles. It is a Lockback though, and it locks up pretty well. There's no play on that blade. Don't remember the steel on it or the dimensions, but no play whatsoever. It feels pretty secure, and for a little keychain knife, it should be pretty decent, fine for opening packages and stuff like that, and feels better than I expected, to be honest. Now this next one's another keychain knife. It was probably around the $10 price point. Got this on Amazon. This is a Night Eyes, and it does have a nail nick here. And another Lockback, aluminum handles on this one, the anodized grain. I think it comes in a few different colors, but had intended to put this on my keychain and test it out and just never got around to it, which is why there's no video on this one, but we'll most likely make one at some point. Side by side, you'll see this one is a little bit shorter than that Yucca, but not significantly so. Don't remember the exact model name on there though, but let's get that one there. Now, the next two came in Going Gear subscription boxes, both from Bird, which is a sister company of Spyderco. This first one is the Meadowlark 2. You can see mine has a combo edge with the serrated first half and the plain edge on the second half. 8CR13 MOV, and for Bird, their Spidey hole looks a little bit different, almost has this beak look coming off the side of it, and so that's how you can recognize a Bird from a Spyderco. Aside from obvious branding. These are made in China. This one has the FRN handles, 4-position pocket clip, mid-lock back, and yeah, really comfortable little knife. I like this one a lot. Like I said, it came in a Going Gear. Not sure I would have bought it otherwise, but it's turned out to be a really decent little knife. Now the next one, I don't know the model on. I can't remember. This was pretty recent too, but just don't remember what it was. I want to say Caracara, but I might just be thinking of a random Bird model knife. But same thing, 8CR13 MOV. This one has the full plain edge, also made in China, same bird-shaped Spidey hole, 4-position pocket clip, just different handles, and also feels pretty good. I haven't carried this one much, but it feels pretty similar in hand to that Meadowlark 2, and so assuming it's going to be pretty similar. Next up, we're going to jump over to Cold Steel. Have two from Cold Steel. One's not actually a Lockback, but it functions exactly the same, so I included it. And that's this mini Tough Light. And this is a small little utility blade. You can see maybe 1.25 inches, 1.5 inches of cutting edge there, so really small. A lot of that blade is actually made up of a finger choil, which is actually really nice because you're able to get a really comfortable 3-finger, 3.5-finger grip on such a small knife. So this is a great little box opener, package opener, and stuff like that. But the lock isn't actually a normal Lockback, it's their triad lock, which for our purposes functions exactly the same. You just press on it and it unlocks. I don't know what the internals look like on this. I haven't taken it apart, but it does require a decent bit more pressure. You can see even almost fully deployed, it's still locked up. So you have to make sure you're all the way deployed before that releases that blade. And so it does feel like it's locked up a little bit tighter than these other Lockbacks, but Lockbacks are great either way. They lock up solid and keep your fingers out of the path of the blade. So a really great little option. That's the mini Tough Light. They're pretty cheap as well, and so come in a few different colors. I like that one. Now this next one's another Going Gear one that is called the Kiridashi, and the Kiridashi is actually the name of a style of the knife, but this is also the name of the model, the Kiridashi. It's modeled after that knife, and typically they're fixed blades. This one's a folder, but another great little utility knife. Again, plastic-like handles on this, really chunky pocket clip, but decent. I've never actually carried this one that I can remember, but have used it around the house a decent bit, and it's a decent little knife. But just a little bit kind of, I don't know, bulky for what I normally carry, and so haven't actually carried it. It's not that big thinking about it. Whenever I think about it, I feel like I think it's bulky, but it doesn't feel that crazy in hand, so I'm sure it wouldn't be too bad in pocket. But moving on, two more before we get back into kind of favorites territory. This is one I completely forgot I had. I've had it forever, probably before I was really into collecting knives even. And this is the K-Bar Caron, Kharon, and pretty sure this one's discontinued. It's from their Zombie series, so it has that really aggressive Tonto looking blade. Don't think I've carried this one a ton, but it's a fun little knife. I may carry it again. Have to look at what the steel is on this one, I don't remember, but you can see it's in that zombie green colorway, which is what kind of makes it recognizable, but also has this bubbling infection looking handle scale pattern, and so I think that's pretty cool. Reversible pocket clip on that one. Like I said, I don't think I've really carried this one that much, just was slipped up onto the blade a little bit there, but didn't cut me, so probably not super sharp. And I don't know, it's fine. It feels a little rough in hand, to be honest, but I don't think they sell that one anyway. It's just a funny one that I picked up a long time ago and has stayed in my collection. But next up is one that, again, I don't really carry, but I use this one a decent amount, and this is the Ontario Knife Co. Camp Plus Santaku. And it's kind of a chef's knife, but there's also a chef's knife version of this, but made for food prep, and it's really excellent in that it's pretty thin. You can see it's still a lockback, no pocket clip or anything, but it's not really meant to be pocket carried. It's meant to throw in your camping box and take it with you. I've also been using it lately to prepare food for my tortoise that I picked up over the weekend, and so it's really excellent for food prep, and I like it a lot. Not necessarily something that I would carry, but these are also super cheap. I want to say under $10, so you can get these for a really good price. They're comfortable in hand and they function really well. Super thin and slicey, as you'd expect from a food prep knife. And so these are excellent. I probably should pick up the rest of that series just in case these ones are a casualty of that acquisition. But getting back into some favorites, going back to Spyderco actually, this one is the Spy Opera. And so really interesting little lockback knife. It has the burlap micarta scales, M390 blade, typical Spidey hole, really comfortable in hand, a smaller knife. But what's really interesting about this one is that it's branded under Spyderco, but it's not actually made by Spyderco. It is made by Lion Steel, which you can see over here. And so made in Maniago, Italy, and just kind of a collaboration that they worked on together. But really has grown on me. When I first got it, I was pretty indifferent. I thought it was interesting and cool, but wasn't the most excited about it. But the more I've carried it and used it, it's really grown on me. So this is a really cool knife. One thing I don't love about it is that super exposed tang that just kind of sticks out and catches. Haven't had that many problems with it because this sticks out a little bit too, so it doesn't stick out quite as far, but it's kind of ugly looking in my opinion, and a lot of people's opinion. A lot of people don't like that, so not my favorite there, but otherwise a really cool knife. Now, rounding out, these are two recent acquisitions from a brand I've never done a video for on the channel, although I've shown a few. And so that is Great Eastern Cutlery, and I've been obsessed lately, to be honest. It's an American-made company making traditional knives. This is the 72 pattern, which is that Cody Scout lockback, and this is in the Chechen rosewood, and really beautiful knife. You can see this one has the blade etch, the Northfield unexcelled, and on the tang you have that Northfield unexcelled again, Titusville, Pennsylvania. On the back you have that model, so 72 and then 1123. Really great example of it. Feels great. I think the covers came out nicely. They're not perfectly matched, but I think really beautiful. Has that cloud shield, I want to say that's what this one's called. And like I said, not perfectly matched, but I think both of them look really nice. And so beautiful little hook point blade on here, small sharpening tool. This one has the long pull, and I keep saying this one, but I haven't actually shown the other one. I've picked up two of these. This one I got from GP Knives retail, and so I believe it was around 135 bucks or so, so not insane. This next one I got on the secondary for under $100, so really excellent deal on this. I believe this is the burnt sienna bone, I want to say that's the name of it, and it has the arrowhead shield on it instead, nail nick instead of the long pull, and also doesn't have that Northfield unexcelled because this is not a Northfield one. And so a little bit different, but otherwise identical. We can look at them side by side. I don't know that I have a favorite. I like the look of the Chechen rosewood a little bit better maybe, and I like the feel in hand of this bone cover. And so this one you're starting to see a little bit of patina. Not sure how well that's picking up on camera, but some blues and purples as it shimmers in the light. Not a ton, still pretty light, but definitely a user. And sorry about that, my battery ended up dying. Don't know exactly where I left off, but I know it was on this GC72, the Cody Scout Lockback, was mentioning that the cover materials make a pretty big difference in terms of just how it feels in hand. I love the way this one feels in hand, more so than the Chechen Rosewood, and so I like the looks of this one better. It's a little bit more contoured and rounded, where this one's a little bit more flat, but this one just feels excellent in hand. Also, not sure if I had already mentioned before the battery died, this one doesn't have the etching that Northfield unexcelled because it's not a Northfield unexcelled, so a little bit different version of it, but both really great. Also paid a lot less for this one. I got it on the secondary, but was able to get a really good deal, just under $100 on this one, where I think I paid 130 something for the other retail. And so two really great knives. You'll definitely see more GEC on the channel sometime in the near future once I get caught up on those videos, because I went from having none to having about 6 in a month and a half, and I'm sure I'll end up buying more of them. I've been obsessed with them lately, so huge fan of those. But that's all of the Lockbacks, or at least all the ones I have at home. Like I said, I think there is one more. Let me know what your favorites are. If you're someone who has a channel, definitely jump in on the open tag. It's a lot of fun to participate in these, and would love to watch yours as well. If you don't have a channel and just want to share your collection in the comments, would love that too. Love discussing other people's collections and what you're carrying and what you're into, so would love that in the comments. But thanks so much for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification button if you enjoyed this video, and also check out the other videos in this open tag if you enjoyed it, because they're going to have a lot of similar content. And I hope you have a great one. Take care.